when she looked down to Dow, she shouldn't see hope at F1.
Right.
Like, before you quit a job, have people...
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Scores and Assists, where we break down the latest headlines and bring you fresh takes on everything sports and culture. From trending news to game highlights and hot debates, we've got it all. Hit that subscribe button and stay in the loop. So former ESPN star Marcellus Wiley has claimed that Qerim left the network because she was only earning $500,000 per year, despite Fast Tech partner Stephen Smith getting almost 40 times as much. Molly shocked viewers of the popular sports talk show after abruptly ending her 19-year stint with ESPN last month, despite initial reports suggesting that she would walk away at the end of the year. Following her stunning exit, ESPN President of Content admitted that she had surprised them with the timing of her decision, but explained how they had recently failed to come to terms over a renewal.
It's the Buffalo Wings.
Okay.
Say less. So Aisha Curry, her relationship, her business. We mind our business.
That's it. We moved on.
But we listen and we judge too, though.
We judge a lot.
But we listen and we judge.
We need to judge something else, Joe.
Let's do it.
Her name is Molly Qerim.
What we judging?
She was, we're judging, I'm going to tell you what we're about to judge. She, of course, for those that don't know, was the host of First Take on ESPN for many years. The show that is hosted by Stephen A. Smith at one point, had Skip Bayless, other people over the course of the year, Shannon Sharp more recently.
One of the biggest shows in sports history.
Absolutely, one of the biggest shows in sports history. The flagship show at this point of ESPN, as opposed to say, pardon the interruption. She is an integral part of the show in many people's opinion, in my opinion as well. She left ESPN rather abruptly, about 3 weeks ago. There was speculation about why she left the network, but ultimately...
And that tea was hot, and I never touched it.
Yep.
That tea was hot. Don't think that I wasn't in the back channels trying to get a little dose of that tea. That tea was piping hot, but here we are, we back.
And one of the things that came up was, most recently, the conversation about her contract. That she left because she was insulted, according to reports, at the amount that they offered her and what she was currently making, which was reported to be $500,000 per year.
Which was what? The new
now,
offer?
That was the new offer, or is that what she was making?
That's what she was currently making. And whatever the offer wasn't significantly higher than that, wasn't sufficiently higher than that to make her stay. I don't know what the new number was. I don't believe it's been reported, but we know that she was making 500 according to the reports, and she felt like 500 was an insulting number, was unfair given what she's given to the franchise. We also know Stephen A's contract as well, which is an overall deal. It's not just for that show. But
what does that have to do with anything?
I'm just putting everything on the table
because this
is part.
No, it ain't.
No, it is only because that's why some people are upset. I'm not saying it should or shouldn't be. I'm just saying we have a lot of information about salaries there.
Let's get to
one particular piece of information we had was Kendrick Perkins, and that might be a better comp. Kendrick Perkins reportedly was making $750,000 at the time that she's making $500,000.
Oh.
Again, I'm just laying out the facts that people were using to make the argument.
I can't wait to hear everyone's thoughts on this.
Yeah, that's why I want to give all the information and let people make their own decisions. And the question was, is she overpaid? Is she underpaid? Is she appropriately paid?
It's hard to know without knowing any real figures, but if we're trying to compare, Kendrick Perkins does a lot more shows than just First Take. So it seems like she was making a respectable, first of all, $500,000 a year is a nice salary regardless. But that seems fair and appropriate. And we can't even use Stephen A because he's on the ESPN night and day and night. Yeah. Regardless of sport.
You cannot use Stephen A. Smith because Stephen A. Smith is an outlier.
Right.
But you can use Kendrick Perkins.
Yes.
You can use Kendrick Perkins because Molly, for the last decade, has been on that show. She's helped that show become what it was. When Kendrick Perkins got there, that show was already there.
Okay.
Right? No disrespect to him. Kendrick Perkins' journalistic ability.
He be checking to see niggas about shit they say.
Is nowhere near where hers was. I don't know what they do outside of being on a microphone. We don't know what their full job encompasses. Molly's job might be to research the information. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Molly's job is not to research.
They got producers.
What I'm saying is I don't know
you kind of see her job.
extent of their job, so I can't necessarily say that. But
well, let's assume what you see is her job.
I think she was underpaid.
What would fair look like?
$1 million.
What number would you no longer say she's underpaid?
Maybe 800. Because again, you got to judge who your counterparts are. So if Kendrick Perkins is sitting right next to me and he's at $800,000, then she has a fair question asking, why am I not at $700,000?
But he's on other shows, right?
Yeah.
I help
So I'm paid by this network. I'm on multiple shows on this network. That would justify me getting.
I don't know how many shows he's on.
He pops up on the NBA show
late night on the NBA sometimes.
On Sports Center, yeah.
But and
broadcasts.
And Molly is not just basketball. Molly's on that show all year round, lending to everything. Kendrick Perkins' primary knowledge is in basketball.
Remember when Kendrick Perkins got into that some controversial stuff around the MVP award, Jokic, and he made some comments about race? And remember when he got into it with Charles Barkley about the past? In 10 years, can you think of one thing Molly Qerim's ever said?
No. But virality don't necessarily mean that she's not doing the job to the best of her ability.
Here's why I'm saying that. Because first of all, I hope Molly Qerim gets $50 million. I want people to get as much money as they. I am not trying to stop that.
For sure.
But I do think there's a difference between being a commentator and your job is to offer provocative commentary.
True.
Which is harder to find.
True.
Right. I think so.
I just think it's roles.
Then a moderator. Yeah, but remember, because she's the host, but she's really the moderator.
She is.
I think it's harder to replace Kendrick Perkins than it is to replace Molly Qerim.
I wouldn't say that because you got a bunch of strong.
It's not even up for dark.
That's not true. You got you got a bunch of strong personalities in the room. Moderating those personalities may not be the easiest of things.
It's not the easiest.
Finding an athlete that is loud and boisterous and brash could potentially be out there.
Potentially. I think that, and again, I don't want Molly Qerim to make less money. I want to be clear about that. Again, I want everybody to get as much money as they can. But I do see a difference between an NBA analyst, which is there's a very small number of people who are former NBA players who can articulate themselves, who have personality and noteworthy opinions that will get people talking in agreement or disagreement. I think it's much easier to find someone who can moderate and kind of organize. It's not easy. I'm not saying her job is easy. I'm just saying it's different.
Y'all can skip this.
Yeah.
The salary cap on each of the roles tells the story.
And that's my point.
This is not really about Molly. If Molly was the best person in the universe
and
at this job, they were going to put a cap on what she can make. Versus if Kendrick Perkins go up there and hit that out the park, it's going to be a different conversation.
Yeah, but that's based on him playing the sport before.
It's also
that's valid too. Like him having a background of notoriety. Yeah.
But we are taking ESPN First Take and we are now funneling it into just basketball. It's bigger than just basketball.
True.
So again, Molly Qerim can't hold a candle to Kendrick Perkins' basketball IQ. He's been around the sport since he was a child. And let's take this off of Kendrick Perkins. You could bring any basketball player in.
C.J. Williams.
Anybody. And talk X's and O's and all the other stuff that go along with that. The same thing you could do with Terrell Owens or Chad Ochocinco. Anybody that played the sport and lived the sport, of course they're going to have vast knowledge. But when you start talking about, this person is only beneficial in this one sport, and I'm here for 365 days and I help build this ship from the ground up, that should, in my opinion, have some level of credence.
I think it should too, and that's why I wouldn't mind paying her, like you said, 6 or 7 or 8, or again, whatever the number is.
I don't know what she was asking. Let's say she was asking for $700,000.
I think it was a 7-figure deal. No, I'm talking about reports. I don't want to be hypothetical. I'm saying, according to reports, she was asking for a 7-figure deal, and again, I hope she gets it wherever. I hope she got it. I wish she got it there.
She went to NBC,
but
I think she signed to NBC.
Did she?
I think.
Okay, I don't know that to be true, but if that's true, excellent. If we move it off of her and ESPN for a minute, if we were to look at inside the NBA, Ernie Johnson to me is a staple. He's the longest tenured person there. He deserves a ton of money, and I think he is a rarer talent as a moderator than maybe anybody I've ever seen moderate a sports thing.
Amazing.
I still don't think necessarily he should make as much as the other 3 people up there for the same reason. Because I still think inside the NBA would look very different and a lot worse without those 3. Without Ernie Johnson, it'll be worse too. But I'd much rather have to face the challenge of replacing Ernie Johnson and replacing Shaq, Charles Barkley, and Kenny Smith.
Are you taking credit away from the moderators or the important? I'm
a moderator. Moderating is hard as shit.
Don't you feel like they needed moderation for strong personalities?
Yes, I just don't think. And Joe, maybe I could use you as an example. You hosted a show with a moderator, right? It was you, Ak, and didn't you have a moderator?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nadeska.
Shout out to Nadeska.
Yeah, and that's no disrespect. I just couldn't. My brain. I'm old. Shout out to her.
She was a moderator on our show.
Right.
And that's not to reduce her to a moderator. On our show, she played the moderator.
And that's what I'm saying. Again, the show was about you two and your opinions. And she's navigating and managing traffic and being really talented at her job. But I don't think it's the same. I don't think I wouldn't put her on a tier with Ak and Joe. And so that's all I'm saying. And I feel like when we get into these shows,
and that's why I wanted to take Kendrick out of it, because now if you say she's the moderator on a show with anybody, and Stephen A. Smith, we know what he's making. Right?
He got more money than God.
So now you could say, if, let's just say, because they're getting paid by a network. They're getting paid. It's not Stephen A. Smith's show. They're getting paid on this particular show. Dog, then you could say, yo, dog, I started this show with him. Of course, he's who he is. So I'm not saying that I need to even be in his ballpark. She's not in the stadium. She ain't on the block.
Yeah.
She in another city. So she has a gripe or argument like, yo, fam, if I put the work in, reward me for the work.
And some might say,
she not
keeping you here when we could get somebody to replace you who's younger and would take less money is the gratitude. It's like we do with Pam Oliver, like we do a lot of veterans. They would say keeping, and I'm not saying it's true or not, but you know that's a position people take. I happen to think they're talented and should stay, but I think the network's position is we're doing you a favor by keeping you in a job where we could swap you out. And I think that's problematic.
Sentiment is disgusting.
Well, let me ask y'all just one last question on this, and it's to take it off of all of them. Think about it. Even
why do you think that sentiment is disgusting?
I think that sentiment is disgusting because you could say, yo, you're replaceable. Everybody, for the most part, is replaceable, with the exception of a couple people. And then we and corporations want people to go above and beyond and give their blood, sweat, and tears. And the minute that you say, yo, you're replaceable at a cheaper number, you're out the door. Now, employee morale is going to be trash if I know I'm replaceable. And if I know you look at me like I'm expendable, then why the fuck would I put my best foot forward and go above and beyond for you?
But I think I agree with that sentiment. I guess that's why I'm saying.
Wait, what sentiment do you agree with?
I don't agree with that.
I agree with saying if you communicate to employees all the time you're expendable, that's a problem. If you communicate to employees, we can get rid of you at any time and they don't have safety.
That muddies the waters here.
Yeah,
slow down.
That's why I'm taking it off the table.
Slow down, but don't take it off the table because this is a good talk.
Okay.
You're not communicating to employees that you're expendable all the time. That's not what I'm talking about.
Mark's,
I know. That's where I was going the same place you're going.
I responded to his statement. And his statement was, you feel like I'm doing you a favor by keeping you here because there's somebody younger that I
see what you're saying. No, that's not what I meant.
I responded to that.
Got it.
I meant something different. I wasn't saying the network is communicating to employees. I'm saying from the network perspective, we're not shitting on you by keeping. We're not disposing of you. We're keeping you in this position because we respect you. We could do this other thing, but I'm saying in their minds, keeping someone for 10 years who they could replace and paying them more than maybe the height of that position when they could be saving money by cutting it in half.
That's the conversation.
That's what I'm saying.
So I think that they may have information we don't have. Who says that that's the height of that position and what that pay scale is? There's other information that we may not be privy to.
In that building.
And that.
Or just in that building.
But that's not necessarily, because when you take into account those things, you take into account all of the buildings. Like if you go look at a senior accountant job or if you go look at a VP of finance job, you don't just take into account this one particular company. You take into the field and the market dictates what my pay raise would be.
Well, I can tell you, and again, I've never worked in sports media, but I can tell you in political media, which has always been kind of the model, there's a difference between a host and an anchor. If you're the anchor, where your job is just to read straight news, and you're not the personality of the show, there's a very clear cap, and it's not that high.
Gotcha.
And if you're on a show like Crossfire, where two people would be debating and going at it, which is kind of what sports stole. The guy in the middle moderating between Tucker Carlson and whoever it was back when they first
ain't gonna make this.
They're not making as much because the idea is that they are replaceable.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
We're not saying that she's supposed to make Stephen A. Smith money.
Right.
She might not even make Jay Will money because those guys can engage in a different way.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm just saying, but she might have the information where the moderators around town are making X.
That's true.
And I got 10 years in this bitch at the biggest platform in the world, and I'm not making X. So I'll have reason to maybe feel like I should go somewhere else.
And I respect that. I think she should. I would just say some of the people who are her comps are doing more than moderating.
Yes.
That's possible,
Yes.
but that might be the role that I'm playing on the show. You said Nadeska on that particular show was subjected to being the moderator for You and Act. That doesn't mean that that's the peak of where Nadeska's skill sets lie.
It means it means yes, but it means that's the peak of what the pay scale will be at this show.
Got you. Right. And there you go. And there you have it. She made her decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, she made her decision. And then when you face with a left or a right to make, my nigga, you got to make a left or a right. As she did what she thought was best for her and her family.
But I'm gonna say the same thing.
That know your worth shit get tricky.
It does.
It does.
I know your worth.
It does. It's a gamble.
It's
like,
a gamble.
I know everybody's running around here saying know your worth.
It's a gamble.
It's tricky.
It is.
And it's cold out here. Again, get your money.
That's the part.
Tricky in what part?
That's the part.
It's tricky because you are faced with a decision that you got to live with, and if you think your worth is X, and the field is saying your worth is Y, y'all are at a crossroads.
Knowing your worth is a dice game.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when they put two companies.
But you would promote for somebody to know their worth and stick to what they're worth. I've heard you say that. Yo, if you know you're worth X, stick to that. Don't take your foot off the
I'm
off
not
the
telling
brake.
everybody to know their worth. It's not true.
No, it ain't
Man,
true.
no,
And
hold on.
not just that.
No, wait, stop.
One
Hold
thing
on.
you should know your worth. You shouldn't always have to pursue it in the way that. Like, here's the thing: if you're in a field like sports media, where
Okay.
there's two major companies, ESPN and Fox, and you're not a personality, right? I mean, you're a personality, but you're not.
The personality.
Right, you're the moderator. You're the person. Those shows are almost designed for you not to see them. Like, most people don't even remember who was moderating between Skip and Shannon. Only like the insiders know. In general, they want you to think of these two people, and then somebody's in the background directing traffic. They design it that way so that they can replace those people. So if there's only two companies that have this, that made two giants, and you work at one of them, and you leave,
Then the other company has leverage.
they got all the leverage.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm just saying it's not as. So I'm just saying, know your worth. I agree.
That's true.
But understand that
Careful how hard you ride that value.
Yeah. Like, and not just that, my nigga, you could be wrong.
there's also
You could think you know your worth, and you could be thinking you worth $1 million, and you ain't.
There are
That
more of those stories than
Fuck.
there are of
Yes.
the know your worth guy hidden.
True.
Yeah.
True.
There's way more of those stories.
But no, it's funny. We have this argument often, and me and you stand on the other sides of that. We stand on the same side today, but we have a other side of that argument when you be like, yo, tighten up your belt. And me and Ice will say, no, niggas got kids. They can't afford to tighten up their belt to go take a gamble or roll a crapshoot on hitting it big. So those are things that when you quote unquote know your worth, you got to take into consideration. My nigga, you're a grown man. You got kids at home. You got a family to feed. So you knowing your worth and rolling the dice could potentially mean your children starving.
Everybody's know your worth point starts and ends in two different places.
True.
Right? So I don't have nothing to say to that guy.
True.
The guy that is making a decision because he got to put fucking food on the table for his kids that are hungry, who's to say that person is wrong? That's the thing. There's also no right or wrong.
True. You're right.
There's no
right or wrong. I agree with that.
I don't recommend how I did it because I'm a lunatic, right? But I'm going to preach for people to bet on themselves versus just running around with a hand out begging.
and that's what I did.
And at least if you're going to run around with a hand out begging, right? And not begging because I'm talking shit, but just company man, then that opportunity will always be there after you bet on yourself. That's the way of the world.
Not
But
always.
sometimes
Not
that's the way of the world.
always. Especially in the instance with Mark, when it's only two networks or it's only two players in the game, my nigga, it might
You're
not.
saying two networks, but when Molly look across down the dial,
Not her.
but we started with Molly.
True.
So when she looked down the dial, she shouldn't see hope at F1.
Right.
Like before you quit a job, have people leave jobs is how they leave. That's on everybody. The complex, we didn't get to a new contract, and I had a baby on the way. I had a baby. My baby was born the next day. Tight spot to be in, but shit happens. Where can Molly look and see hope? Because wherever you go, too, we talking about you being there day one, not you being somewhere year 10.
Right.
You walking in the building, you walking in a new place, it don't matter what you did somewhere else, what success you had, what success can you have in this ecosystem with this structure? And like Mark said, it's cold out there.
I believe that. And
You niggas running around that's thinking y'all gonna, is a name I want to say now that we've talked about in recent months that I won't say, that I got from you. But he ran around thinking that shit
Yes.
was a nice spring
And then
summer day outside.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's fucked up outside, yo.
I know what you're talking about.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think it's everybody's job to at least be aware of what's going on.
You got to measure the field, yo, and you got to do in any business. This is business. I think it's economics 101 or 102. You got to do a SWOT analysis when you making these decisions. And
What's
it's a SWOT analysis.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Damn, what the fuck? It's opportunities the O, weaknesses is the W, strengths is the S, and T is strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Okay.
Right? And you got to make that assessment when you jump out in the field. Like, yo, my strengths are this, my weaknesses are this. The opportunities, to y'all point, ain't vast. There's limited opportunities, my nigga, and then the threats are these. So it's a bunch of, I don't want to.
And you know what else is funny? I think we should
I
close.
like when Stringer Bell went to school.
Yo, shut your ass up.
And I think we should have closed this a while ago, but it's a real good conversation. Also, how do you value things at your job that are not currency?
Yes.
Like, that would be tough for me if I'm Molly. I'm at the only company where there seems to be a black man shooting up in salary and position, and who seems to have the ear of the white people that are in charge. And I'm pretty fly with him. Like, that's a stock that continues to go up, and I'm looking at the last 20 years of it.
Well, some people were blaming him
were.
for this exit. Like, look, if you got that much sort of pull in cachet, you should be like, this is my one. And I don't want to work with anybody else who do what she needs to get her happy and get her to that number.
Well, that's where the tea is hot. That's where the tea is a little. That's where the tea is a little hot.
Flame on.
And that's where we would have to have some conversations.
Okay, I'll do some digging.
Conversations that I'm certainly not built to have.
Fair enough. Mr.
Shout out
Ish.
to Molly, man. Shout out to Molly. Shout out to Molly. I want everybody to get their money.
Mr. Ish, I see Cam Newton on the board.
Yeah, let's just run down the whole sports gauntlet.
Cam just did an interview with the young lady. I forget her name. Pardon me. Parker McKenna. Pardon me. She used to play on My Wife and Kids back in the day. Well, she's an adult now, and she and Cam sat down. I think that the dialogue was really good. Like, if you guys haven't seen it, go look at it. But one of the things that is buzzing around the airways is Cam saying,
buzzing around the airways? I need to hear.
Stupid.
Tell us.
I got to hear what's buzzing.
Cam basically told her that when he meets a young lady, when they start to really get into the thick of things, he has to know, for his own self-assurances, decision-making, SWOT analysis, whether he should move forward with her, he has to know her body count. Not just the count, the actual bodies on the
Like the names?
Yes.
Like famous names or just any names?
I'm assuming he meant famous names because he goes on to delve into it. And
famous names is a little different.
Famous names is not bad when you're Cam Newton. I'm on his side. I think some people in here will not. I know Joe automatically is not on his side.
I'm not on his side either.
But
I understand it a little different.
I understand why.
I get it. No, I'm not
So,
on the side.
well, first, I think asking people's body counts.
Is juvenile?
Yeah, what are we, 12?
I agree
or
with that.
No, maybe 12. It's 18,
I agree
19.
with
But I think that's weird. Because, like, what do we gain from that? It doesn't...
Security.
So, if you want to have testing...
Really? Do you?
If I'm with somebody and you want to know about...
That shit might fuck your security all the way up.
I thought you meant health security. You mean like emotional security, psychological?
Mm-hmm.
If your psychological security is tied to a number, like if it's over 20, I can't fuck with you because that's weird to me.
It is weird, but a lot of people abide by that rule.
And the other thing is, how you know that person telling the truth?
I mean, when I was younger, yeah.
But
when I was younger, I used to want to know how many bodies.
Would you care now if you were single?
No, I wouldn't care. And as
would you ask?
I wouldn't care. Not anymore. No.
Okay.
Not anymore. No.
I wouldn't care about the number, but the who's on that list could definitely determine if I.
And
really?
Yeah, because look, you don't want to go outside. You don't want to be seen with somebody, go outside, and then find out about them from somebody else, because the circle is very small.
See,
and for real, it's the truth. Some people don't care about that, which is cool because you guys are on the other side. But some people do. Some people care about going outside with their significant other. Now, hold on, wait. I'd rather you tell me first, put me on, so I'm not out here looking stupid. If this nigga teabagged you on the Eiffel Tower, let me know. That's how, you know.
Or if it's like magic.
Or if it's like magic, whatever it is.
But wait, you should just assume that she was teabagged on the Eiffel
No,
Tower.
you don't. No.
She was definitely teabagged.
She was teabagged on the Eiffel Tower.
She wasn't teabagged on the Eiffel Tower by a nigga that I look at as my
brother. You should not assume that, though. You should not automatically go there and say, you shouldn't assume that. I don't think you should assume that. I think that you should give a person, it's her body and
Are
her
you out
choice.
hunting for a virgin?
No, but
I'm serious.
Did she fuck?
If y'all get to argue one side, I want to argue the other side.
No, but there's a gray area, bro. We're not saying you avert. I'm not saying nothing. I think asking a lady's body count is
whack.
If she fucked Ike with the Iverson jersey, I would like to know.
That's true.
Listen to this. If I'm Cam Newton,
That's important. That's important.
There's some names out there.
Right. He was light skinned with herpes.
What?
That's the other end of
Ike
that
with the
line.
Iverson jersey, light skinned with herpes.
Nah, it's for Stillmatic album.
Now I agree with Parks.
There's some names that you might want to know.
You guys are so stupid. I slap
If
y'all.
you fucked a nigga in the hood with herpes, you should.
Yo,
tell me.
listen to this.
But they don't.
Why?
If you were at the Lakers 3-peat party.
Why should she
Yeah,
tell you?
exactly. Yeah.
Why should she tell you?
It's a health risk.
It's a health
her
care, right?
business.
No. So again,
Her
No,
business.
it's my
if
business
you're worried
attitude.
about the health
It's
risk,
not your
get tested.
Wait, hold up,
I'm
because
sorry.
he sounds like a caveman right now. That's a health risk, and it's not just her business if she puts my health at risk.
Get tested, like you said.
What do you mean get
If
tested?
I go get tested and
She
I
has to get
find
tested.
something and it came from her and she didn't tell
No.
me, it's a crime.
No, y'all get tested pre.
Who does that?
I'm not. You have the opportunity.
But instead of
I
asking
guess.
who did you fuck, I'm saying you could get tested for herpes, you get tested for HIV, you get tested for all this stuff, and then you no longer have
We clean.
the excuse of
Let's
saying,
get it.
"Well, I needed to know for health
Well,
reasons."
No
That's,
one asks for paperwork when you start dating a chick.
no, I'm talking about at the point. But to me, at the point where you're asking who you fucked in numbers and who did you fuck so and so from this rap group, at that moment, if we tight like that, then let's get tested.
Mark,
I don't
Bro,
think
if
you
she
should ever
did
ask.
let the dusty bum nigga hit, you think she's gonna tell you?
No, that's why I
She's
say
gonna
just get
sit there.
tested.
Yo, they got bodies that they don't claim.
And that's why I say
Mark,
just get tested and you ain't
Mark,
gotta ask shit.
It's a pointless ass conversation. You
Why do
tryna
we
have
get on
with
this mic? Why do we get on these mics as black men and afraid to say that we're insecure about certain things?
Yo, give your.
I don't.
Give your opinion.
One side of this topic presents as insecure, and
But why are we afraid to say
and
that?
we wish y'all would say it.
No. But why are we afraid to acknowledge insecurity? A lot of us in here, a lot of people in here,
I don't
are
think nothing
insecure
wrong with
about
that.
something.
I don't think
But
nothing wrong
when
with
we get on the mic, we are afraid to say it, and we want to have this
Wanna be
machismo.
Superman.
Like,
Yeah,
no,
he's
niggas
right.
is insecure.
He's right.
You would have a conversation with your significant other, and sometimes in the conversation, if they know somebody, you ask, "Did you sleep with him?" It's just a natural conversation.
Well, that's
that come
different.
up.
Fam, it's not. That's
No.
not
There's a
different.
difference
That's not what
between
we
saying,
talking
look,
about.
for example, if me and my wife are out and we at homecoming, I'm picking something, right? She went to Howard.
It's fire.
What?
No, because I'm just pitching.
We at say Howard. She went to Howard, so we at Howard homecoming, and some nigga from back in college give her that extra long hug.
You know the hug.
Capone drumming.
I might be like, what's up? I'm not saying I would never do that. That to me is different
There you
than
go. Okay.
saying we can't proceed in our relationship until I get your body count number and the who.
Okay, I see.
That shit is weird. That to me is different. And also, just one more thing. On the famous piece, that doesn't matter to me unless you're going to be around them.
And that was Cam's point. So y'all ain't let me progress this.
Got
point.
it.
I said I think it's corny, but I understand Cam is a professional athlete. There are women that date athletes.
That's all they
So
do.
now I knew this dude since I was 15 years old. He calls my mother Ma. I've known him. I've been his teammate before. I actually, and if we want to keep it a buck, I know how this nigga give it up.
Yeah.
So now when I know you was fucking with blah blah blah, and I know how he give it up
Is it
as a
insecure to say
man.
that?
No, it could be. So what?
Yes.
As a man, we all got insecurities. As a woman, every woman
There you
got
go.
insecurities. My nigga, if I know how this nigga giving it up, and I know how some of my friends roll,
Then why don't you just ask him if y'all that tight?
No,
for
you're
what?
not supposed to ask the nigga.
I'm
Because
asking-
it's
Oh,
bro
okay.
code.
Yeah,
You're
You're
supposed to ask the nigga.
you're saying your man fucks like really good.
no, I know he
No, you know anything he come across. You know anything he come across, he nail it.
I can't fuck with him.
I can't hear any of y'all right now.
Sorry.
And so I know how this particular, or not just that, yo, me and this dude are super duper close, and we too close for me to feel comfortable knowing that.
Then why can't you just ask him?
I'm talking to you. How I'ma ask him if I don't know y'all dealt with each other before? He's saying when I met you and you telling me that I dealt with this person, then that's.
Oh, so you said you don't have a specific person
He
in
don't
mind?
know. Yeah, he was saying he don't know the dudes that she dealt with.
And I'm taking it further than that. Like, that's one point that you're making, and Mark. My point to you is this lady we talking about is your everything.
Not yet.
See, then
And that's
they
the
don't
what
get-
we asked
okay,
him.
let's
What
talk about
you're
that.
saying-
Never
what
mind.
you're saying-
Never mind.
y'all are being purposely.
Never mind.
What they
Exactly.
They all being purposely obtuse.
what
Y'all
they're
being
saying is
purposely
you can't get
obtuse.
to my everything unless I know that.
And that's the
And
weird
we're-
part.
That's what we highlighting.
And disagreeing with.
That's what we are.
You're not highlighting that if you just said, yo, that person is your everything.
Yeah, we didn't get that far.
No, we're saying
He trying to progress the
you-
Sans this point that you're trying to figure out. Sans, like you got your questions you got to ask. Cool.
Joe, we know a bunch of jersey chasers. Personally, we know a bunch of them, right? So what I'm saying is, if this person meets a dude, and dog, these niggas change.
Let's stay right there for a second
These
with
peop-
that jersey chaser point.
Okay, cool.
Because I don't even believe that every guy gets the same woman.
Even still, they might not.
I don't even agree with that.
I believe you.
You fucked her. I fucked her. We not getting the same girl.
That's a fact.
That's possible.
That's true.
I'm
That's
not
too
disagreeing.
deep thinking.
I'm,
Like,
no.
you thinking deep.
Wait, look,
I like
Joe.